Hello everyone, this is Big Benedict. We are investigating the steel mill, but up until then I'm gonna partake in these fights. And this is a pretty long chapter consisting of a lot of brawls. Now these kind of brawls are optional. What I could do is just start from the steel mill, but if people don't know how to get to the steel mill, that's why I want to leave this footage in. And arguably, people should be able to find their way to a waypoint. But hell, even if you can, sometimes you don't know where the access door is. Like, take that bank that we just did. It took me a while to even find out how the hell you get into that bank. So, I think that's what a guide should do. Okay, so I did confirm that when you're buying the upgrades, the one where you get the iframes takedown at 5 hits instead of 8, that unlocks after you get most of the 2 rows. I just bought the bat swarm and it unlocked the 5 multiplier, and I haven't used any other upgrades except for all the upgrades I've used have been for the close range combat upgrades because those are the most important to me. So I do have some news about the patch. What's coming up. Now, in a year's time, this news will be the most irrelevant piece of data you could possibly need, but hell, this is the current time for myself and others. Anyway, I went on to Warner Brothers what are they called? WB Montreal's website, onto their forums, and what I did want to say, that we have a really tough fight coming up. It's optional, but I'll at least try to fight it out and do it. It's a nice fight. Anyway, what they're saying on their website is that during the past week, the community team has been well aware that some players have been encountering several issues with their games, some worse than others. We've been monitoring, reading, and gathering all the information from your reports on these issues. For that, we want to sincerely thank everyone who has posted on these forums. By reaching out to us, the dev teams have been able to test, reproduce, and resolve the majority of these issues. Now, the issues themselves are, and this first one was exactly what happened to me. Number 1, infinite falling out of world on all platforms. So this is something that does happen on all platforms. Some players have been stuck in an endless loop of falling, making it impossible to complete certain missions and progress through the single-player campaign. We believe we have identified the issue and are currently testing the software update, which will push most players back to their previous save so that they will not be stuck in an infinite loop. That's refreshing news, because somebody else told me on my comments that they had invested 16 hours into this game and then they got the loop that I just mentioned. And I was about an hour and a half into the game, and I got that falling infinite fall loop. This is horrible. And somebody else told me, or I think it was that person, I told that person, these people should be fined. Their company should be fined for that shit. Because time is money, you know? If you're not playing the game, you could be doing something else constructive. And I don't know, there should be some kind of remuneration for people. Anyway, number 2, unable to continue the story on all platforms. Some players can see their story progress in the main menu, but once they choose the story slot, they don't see an option to continue, and only new game shows up. This issue should be resolved, and the continue option will once again be available. Number 3, free flow focus mode not unlocking upon reaching Shadow Vigilante rank on all platforms. Okay, so that's going to be fixed. And now for the final. Now these are specific to the PC. Story progression being blocked. Corrupted saves. Oh no, excuse me. This one was for the PC only. Fix for progression blocker, keeping some players from navigating through the vent in the Burnley Tower. And they say they have not solved the following rare issue, but they are continuing to investigate it. And other ones here: corrupted saves for the 360 only, Players have reported losing their save data to their save game to data corruption. Excuse me. Also for the 360, ongoing crashing, freezing issues. Players have reported recurring crashing and freezing while playing the game. They say that they're working hard to track down and resolve the problem as quickly as possible. So, hopefully within a week's time, we'll see a patch, and hopefully we'll see more patches down, because it's unacceptable. It's a AAA title. It's a huge fucking game, and people can't even play it. Ridiculous. It just pisses me off so much. But I need to stay focused here. This is a tough section. We're going to the steel mill. We need to do a takedown on this guy here. It works out pretty well. The next guy you want to do a takedown on is this guy with the red scope up on the tower. So move yourself over to that location. You can also use some of your tools. You can use the disruptor to make their guns malfunction. You can use the remote bat. It's called the remote batarang, I think it's called, or something like that. Remote something. What's it called? Something. It's the one where you have the zip line. You can pull people off ledges and stuff, just like you can do with the bat claw. Okay, this was kind of funny how this worked out. What happened was, I was waiting for the enemies to go up the ladder, or actually no, I wasn't even waiting for them to come up the ladder. I was waiting to see who would get isolated down there, and lo and behold, some guy jumped on the ladder and came up here, so I smashed him, and then I did, that caused noise, inevitably, and then I'm at a vantage point here where I have all the advantage. So I could take out everybody, even with a knockdown smash, and just take down everybody as they come up here. You might want to try it. I came upon it by complete accident. They might go around the other way, so watch out for that. But they tend to go directly to the fallen comrade, and most of them are in this venue over here anyway. So it could. Ooh, look at this! Look at this! Cock blocked by a lamp pole, like literally cock blocked, because it almost he landed right on his crotch. If you want to rewind that, I thought that was really bizarre. I thought I was going to have another glitch. So fortunately, this guy might have been glitched out because he didn't even turn his head to look at me. And then there's just one more guy left. The door to the steel mill won't open until we've cleared all these guys. What I'm aiming, this is called the remote claw. My bad. I'm using the remote claw, and I couldn't even figure out how to fire it over here. So I did a lot of edits, and I felt like an idiot. And then I finally just used the bat claw and did the hook attack. Okay, so now into the steel mill we go. We have a brawl. This is a pretty fun brawl. You can go into the vent or not. It doesn't really matter, because you'll get one kill. First of all, you'll get a kill, but then everybody's going to get alerted. And that's a full takedown. That's not just a takedown where you have to do a ground takedown afterwards. Let's see, who do we have here? I don't think we have any thugs with body armor, so we're all good. Just have guys throwing shit at us. And the critical strike, it has to be random. So is it just some random hit that you get is a critical shot? That's kind of lame in my opinion. Anyway, that room is cleared. Now you want to go back over here, and I believe we're going to use our sequencer to open this door here. Oh no, I think there is some door that needs one. No, I guess not. But just hook your way up here. Now we're going into Sionis' office. And this kind of reminded me of Lords of Shadow walking on those planks. And I met with a lot of frustration because these guys saw me over here. And I couldn't even get off the beam. it's kind of the game's fault. It's just, God, sometimes I really get pissed off. So, one guy with body armor, he's a pretty... The thing about those guys is you've got to punch them like 30 times before you will get that iframe. And invariably what's going to happen is people are going to come up to you, or worse, people are going to shoot you. So, it's a little bit... It's not really convenient to use that disruptor in a fight to disarm the guns, so you need to use it before the fight even starts. And the way you'll know there's enemies is if those enemies are highlighted in orange in the detective vision. So I'm racking up a good combo. I think I got 17 right here. Yeah, 17. Now we're going to go to the computer, check that computer out, skip the cutscene, and we have acquired Janus security codes. So the next thing you want to do is just, I think you need to double back the way you went. Oh no, you can go this way. And this door actually required you to go get those security keys. You see my little smear of gel right there? That was because I went over here, had my explosive gel equipped like I sometimes do, and sprayed it before I tried to open it with a sequencer, which then told me that I needed those codes. So, anyway, this is a free room, nothing to do in here. Okay, we have a large brawl out here. This is a pretty fun fight. Ooh, so I did the iframes takedown on that guy. That was very fortunate to get that. Because once that guy's out of the equation, these guys are just yours for the killing. Did the cave stun on that guy. This game really does require fast reflexes on your part. And trying and analyzing very quickly your body position and the positions of the enemies, which way you're facing, which way they're facing, how much room is in between you and them. It's a tough game. Anyway, we took all the thugs out now. What you need to do after this... Ooh, another huge brawl. I forgot about this one. I don't know if you get a checkpoint in between these two fights because I didn't die, but I barely lived this fight. It's a tough one. We have this huge guy here, outfitted thusly. So he will destroy you. Even if you're doing the cave stun on him, if you're punching him and you ever see that red above him, those red lines, just evade away very quickly. Because it's like, you can't even stun this guy. But you can either... you could either try to cave stun and then just keep hitting, because you don't have to do a full barrage of hits on him, like uninterrupted hits. You can hit him like 10 times, and then 12 times after that, and then maybe 8 times. It's not 30, I don't know how many hits it is exactly, but it's quite a lot. So you could either try to focus on him or just kind of ignore him if you want to. But the thing is, he doesn't ignore you. Therefore, what you have to do is just be very aware of where he is, and try to minimize all the targets as quickly as you can by doing any of your iframes takedowns. And the bat swarm, I can't really commit to an opinion about how I feel about it. I don't know if it actually kills people or if it only subdues them. I think it does kill them if they're on the ground. And right here I had everybody killed, but it was just me and this guy. And then watch what happens. Oh, this fucker got me right there. A couple guys left actually. But when all these guys are cleared, he must have ran over that guy or something. The other guy. But when I go to capestone this guy, he like counters it when I hit him. I don't know if it was that, but I had like one hit left from this guy, one punch, and he would have killed me.
I'm gonna take my time with you.
So that's a tough fight, no doubt about it. So the next we have to shove those pipes into the wall, get it destroyed, and then grapple onto it with your back claw. Then we will be going into the next room, and I think we have another fight.
That's more like it.
I prefer fights to the stealth myself. Concealed room. Okay, this is a little bit of an oddity. I'm not really sure. I think it's a timed event that happens over here. Yeah, it's a timed event. This body here, this is going to be in fast forward, but all you need to do is scan him when it prompts you to go in detective mode. And this I sped up because it's just a simple elevator ride down here. Then we are going to have another fight over here. So you can get one guy disposed of, but be aware there's one guy with the body armor though. And there's also a knife enemy. I mean, there was one in the fight I did before this when I wasn't doing well, and I just canceled and reloaded the checkpoint. But fortunately, I got that guy out of the picture. So I don't know. Maybe there is not a knife guy sometimes. This game does divvy up the enemies quite well. So there we go. Punch that guy, and then wheel around, and then we're going to need to do the sequencing on this door to open her up. And then we will be in the laboratory. And I know I don't say that like an American, I say it like a European, but I am an American. But I like the European pronunciation of laboratory. Okay, anyway, it's actually a drug laboratory. And we cannot use our thermal vision, our detective vision. And there's a lot of guys down here, but what I've found to be the easiest way on a lot of these sections is just to swoop by an isolated enemy, swoop on right down next to him. Your landing won't cause any disturbances and he won't get alerted. So use that to your advantage, and then use the tried and true advantage of having height. So I'm going to get up here, find an isolated enemy, just fly on down to him, and then as I'm landing I'm just holding down the R2 button so I could crouch and then do the silent takedown. I think I was spotted at one point, but I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm back up to the gargoyles, picking guys off. Now, this was a little risky right here because I was passing somebody's theoretical line of sight right there, but I landed right in the doorway, so it was no real problem. And we're going to be fighting a boss in the next video named Copperhead. She's a woman, and I honestly don't know like the DC universe, the characters too much. I don't read comic books. I'm just familiar with the the main villains from the movies and things like that. So anyway, but what is going to happen though is once you get into the office where they're holding Sionis or whatever his name is. Ooh, this was really close. I think I got seen right here. No, this guy got alerted, but it wasn't by my presence. It was just because he saw that guy right there that I just took down. Also, whenever if you're ever getting chased, you want to go up to the gargoyles and then do a lot of swooping around from one to the next, and it will confuse the enemies. But what happens though is you go into the office right there. There's the stairs of the office. And the reason I did that dive bomb was because it was an accident. Also, holding down the R2 button too early. And you're going to go in there, and then Copperhead is going to poison you, and then we'll be walking out of here very slowly, the way you do on a lot of video games. and there is some exposition and narrative with the butler. And ooh, they're throwing grenades. I haven't really addressed that. Enemies do toss grenades sometimes. But what I did right there, that was a knockdown smash. Even though he didn't smash him, what he did was he disabled his backpack, whatever it was there. But I'm going to cut out the... I'm not only going to cut out the cutscene, but I'm going to cut out the walking from the office back to the main area where the drop point is for the antidote. And there's a bit of evidence scanning, but it doesn't really come into play. I mean, it's pretty simplistic. All you need to do is scan a couple of the poison splotches on the ground. So what the rest of this video will contain after this will be only a brief little section with Copperhead when you're just fighting the three versions of her, and then what happens after that is you'll walk into the room and that is the boss fight, and then I have isolated that fight and put it in the next video, so it'll be the Copperhead boss fight. Now this guy right here, I thought there was more than one guy because he was talking out loud to people, but they still talk even though there's one guy left, so I'm just playing it safe. And I actually got an upgrade too, and I finally was able to purchase the iframes takedown with the 5x multiplier. So usually you get that move a lot earlier in the game, but they've distributed the upgrades a lot differently in this game. So these are the upgrades that I have. Now just run up to the office, and when you get in the office, take a right and you'll see Sion. I know his name's not Sionis. I don't know what it is. It's the guy whose girlfriend was killed. So here, Batman's poisoned, but he could still fight pretty competently. You're just facing these two enemies here. One of them will disappear, and then it's just a matter of just taking these ones out. They do a knife attack also, but I don't think you can like do a knife takedown. But anyway, next video will be that boss fight I mentioned.